The diplomatic quarters aboard the Celestial Harmony were designed for comfort, but Rayan had never expected to share them with an alien who looked like she'd stepped out of Earth's ancient folklore. Era sat cross-legged on the observation deck's cushioned floor, her russet-furred ears twitching as she studied the star charts projected before her. "Your species navigates by dead reckoning?" she asked, her tail swishing with what Rayan had learned was fascination. "How delightfully primitive." Rayan smiled. 3 months ago, such a comment would have stung. Now he understood that Era's people, the Volpari, measured sophistication differently than humans did. They had mastered faster-than-light travel millennia before Earth had invented the wheel. Yet they'd never developed artificial intelligence, considering it an abomination against natural thought. "We prefer to call it traditional," Rayan replied, settling onto the floor beside her. The Volpari diplomat was smaller than most humans, her frame delicate beneath the ceremonial robes that marked her status as an envoy. But those amber eyes held an intelligence that had negotiated peace treaties across 3 sectors. Era's ears flattened slightly, a sign of amusement. "You humans have such creative euphemisms." She turned back to the charts, but her tail betrayed her distraction. Curling and uncurling rhythmically, Rayan had learned to read those signals. After weeks of cultural exchange, he'd discovered that the Volpari were far more expressive than they admitted. Their society prized emotional control, yet their bodies constantly broadcasted their true feelings to anyone who knew how to look. "Something bothering you?" he asked. The ears swiveled backward, then forward again. "The Council's decision regarding the border worlds. They're moving too slowly." She gestured at the holographic display. "Humans understand urgency in a way my people have forgotten. You live such brief lives, every moment matters to you." It was the closest thing to a compliment Rayan had heard from her. The Volpari live for centuries. Their long lifespans made them cautious, deliberative. Humanity's comparative brevity had made them seem reckless to the galactic community. Until the Kreth invasion, Rayan's smile faded. The Kreth had swept through the outer colonies like a plague, overwhelming defenses with sheer numbers and brutal efficiency. The established powers, the Volpari, the Crystalline Collective, the Zoan Empire had convened councils, formed committees, drafted proposals. Humanity had gone to war. "We saved your colony on Theta Meridian," Rayan said quietly. "Your people called us reckless for it." Era's tail stilled completely. "We called you brave." She looked at him then, really looked at him, and something shifted in her expression. "I called you brave." The silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken things. Rayan had been warned about interspecies relationships. The diplomatic corps had entire manuals on cultural sensitivity, on maintaining professional distance. He'd read every one. He'd also spent 3 months watching Era work herself to exhaustion, negotiating for resources to defend worlds that weren't even Volpari, arguing passionately for causes that the Council deemed humanity's problem. She wore her composure like armor, but he'd seen it crack in private moments. "You're stressed," he observed, watching her ears twitch rapidly. "When was the last time you actually relaxed?" "Relaxation is a luxury we cannot afford, that's Council speak." Rayan moved closer, studying her carefully. "What do you need?" Era's ears flattened against her skull. Embarrassment, he'd learned. "It's inappropriate. Try me." She was quiet for so long that Rayan thought she wouldn't answer. Then, barely audible, "My people engage in grooming behaviors for stress relief." But requesting such intimacy from an alien colleague would I be overstepping if I offered? Those amber eyes widened. Her tail did an entire loop. "You would do that?" "If it helps." Era hesitated, her natural Volpari reserve warring with genuine need. Finally, she shifted position, turning so her back faced him. "The ears," she said softly. "Just gently." Rayan reached out carefully, fingers finding the soft fur at the base of her right ear. He stroked slowly, watching her body language for signs of discomfort. Instead, her shoulders gradually relaxed, the tension draining from her frame. Then she made a sound. It started as a low rumble in her chest, not quite a purr. Not quite a hum, but something in between that vibrated through her entire body. Her ears, which had been twitching constantly, now pressed contentedly into his touch. "This is ... Era's voice had gone dreamy. "Humans are surprisingly good at this." Rayan grinned. "We have cats. Practice makes perfect." He'd barely finished the sentence when Era suddenly spun around. Before Rayan could react, she'd knocked him backward onto the observation deck's cushioned floor, her small frame pinning him with unexpected strength. Her face hovered inches from his, ears forward, tail lashing. "Did you just compare me to an earth feline?" The words would have been threatening if not for the playfulness dancing in her eyes. Rayan's heart hammered. "Technically, I compared you to a domesticated, worse and worse human." But she was smiling. Actually smiling, something Volpari rarely did in front of other species. Her guard was completely down, the diplomatic mask abandoned in favor of genuine emotion. "I'm going to regret this," Era murmured. And then she pressed her forehead to his, a Volpari gesture of deep trust and affection. Rayan's breath caught. Around them, the stars wheeled silently through the observation windows, witnessing a moment that no diplomatic manual had prepared him for. The galaxy was burning. War councils convened while fleets mobilized. Somewhere the Kreth were advancing, but here, in this quiet corner of space, a human and a foxwoman from opposite ends of the galaxy had found something worth protecting beyond treaties and borders. "Worth it," Rayan whispered. Era's purr deepened in agreement.